Hi guys, and welcome to another video where today we're going to be attempting to predict the results and scores of week 10 of the English Premier League. Now before we do that, we'll just have a quick look back at last week's results where we did okay-ish, but there were quite a few shock results last week. So if we have a look at the scores on the board, you, Nathan, you managed to get 8 points, very good. You had 6 results correct, and one of those was a perfect score, which was Southampton beating West Bromwich Albion 1-0, and I had just the 6 results correct. A couple of noteworthy results you could say is Manchester United losing away against Huddersfield 2-1, which is a bit of a shocker. West Ham, of course, losing 3-0 against Brighton, which Slaven Bilic looks to be under pressure really now, doesn't he, at the London Stadium. Watford had a very good performance against Chelsea, should really have won it. Richarlison, he missed a couple of sitters there, didn't he? At Stamford Bridge.
Bad for the fantasy football.
For yourself. And well, Spurs beating Liverpool really in the game of the week, but that was a foregone conclusion with Liverpool's away form really pathetic, you could say, for this season. Home form though, well, we'll come on to that I'm sure, because they're going to be playing this weekend at Anfield. So the overall scores for the season now is you've got 58 points, and just ahead by 1 point is myself with 59 points, so really neck and neck at this stage of the season after those 9 games. And for those of you playing along in the comments section, this week we have Nathan Evans, a big shout out to you. You managed to get 6 results correct, so you managed to get 6 points. And DLM75, a big shout out to you as well. You also had 6 points. So Nathan and DLM, well done. So enough of week 9, let's move on to week 10.
Okay, so the first fixture is the lunchtime kickoff between Man United and Spurs. Now, a traditional thing with Jose Mourinho in huge games, gets the biggest bus he can find and parks it in front of that goal. That's all I can say. So it's not going to be a high scoring game at all. I reckon Man United will just run away with it 1-0.
Yeah, this is a very difficult...
hardest, I reckon, of all.
It is a very difficult fixture to predict, this one. You know, Manchester United, very strong at home. I don't think they've actually conceded in the league at home this season. They've won all their matches. Tottenham, I think they've won all their matches away. I think they've only conceded the 2 goals away as well. So something's got to give here. Will it be a draw? You think Man United are going to win 1-0?
Yeah, just.
It's really hard to back against Tottenham scoring goals, but I'm going to go the same. I've gone for a Manchester United 1-0 victory as well. Okay, moving on to the second fixture, which is Arsenal against Swansea. Arsenal came away with, they actually scored some goals last week against Everton. They scored those 5 goals. Everton, well,
goodbye Ronald Koeman.
Yeah, cheerio Ronald. Your time is up, unfortunately. However, Arsenal, I think getting those 5 goals, that's going to give them confidence. Swansea, what can you say, losing at home against Leicester? Leicester did, sack their manager as well, of course. So they came off Shakespeare as well, lost his manager. Leicester went away. There was a response. They beat Swansea last week with that 2-0
and then they lost to Man United yesterday as well.
That's right, in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, so they're all quite a losing streak at the moment. But,
but I can only see one outcome of this match, and I'm going for an Arsenal 2-0 victory.
Yeah, like you said, I can only see one outcome for this as well. It's just, I don't know what the other team in South Wales are going to do, but
from my point of view,
really,
they're not going to score. They
won't score.
They did last week.
They might have a strong defence, but I'm just going to go Arsenal 1-0.
Fair enough.
Life. Okay, so the next fixture is Palace versus West Ham now. Oh dear. Both teams not had a good start to the season. Oh, well, Frank de Boer sacked earlier on in the season. Roy trying to get things straight at Selhurst Park. West Ham got absolutely destroyed by Brighton last Friday.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know what happened, but...
Biscuit Boy Bob's tea.
Yeah.
Wow, he must be crying in his tea.
Yeah, but...
or his beer.
Slaven Bilic is in a lot of pressure at the moment, and it's a really tough one to predict, but I reckon West Ham are going to be up for it. in the London derby, and I can just see West Ham running away 2-0 victors.
Okay, well, I've gone for the complete opposite of this.
Okay.
I actually think West Ham, dire for, they're in dire straits. The players have really got to, play for the shirt at the moment. It doesn't look like they've got any fight in them or anything like that. Andy Carroll, I'm not sure if he's back from his ban or not. West Ham had a terrible time of it at the London Stadium last week, losing against Brighton, of course, 3-0. This evening, they're at Wembley, and I can't see things going for them there either, unless Tottenham don't put out a fairly decent team. I can see West Ham coming away with nothing then. So they're really under the pressure, and I can actually see Crystal Palace coming away with a second victory of the season and see them winning 2-1. Why not? I think
I don't think they will. I just
West Ham,
don't think they can't score. I don't think they can score.
I know they're missing. They are missing their strikers, but I think maybe
they just can't get the goals.
Maybe Loftus-Cheek will come to the party this week and score.
I highly doubt it. We'll see. But
we'll see. Okay, difference of opinion on that one there. Okay, moving on to the next fixture, we got Liverpool against Huddersfield. Liverpool, amazingly strong at home. Away from home, okay, absolute dire. However, Huddersfield will be buoyed. They'll be confident after that victory against Manchester United last week. That was on their home turf. I can't see they're going to concede too many, and defensively they're going to be okay at Liverpool, even though Liverpool do score hatfuls at home. Normally they didn't against Manchester United, of course, but traditionally this season they have. I can only see Liverpool winning this one on. I've gone for a 2-0 victory. Probably Salah scoring again at some point as well.
Well, I can see Huddersfield building a lot of momentum from the last game against Man United, and Liverpool absolute weak at the back. Huddersfield do like their counter-attacks, and they do tend to attack quite a bit. I reckon it's going to be a really close game. I know it's a bit bizarre, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
It is a bit bizarre, but
maybe not. Brave, but
Also, while we're recording this video, it looks like that Claude Puel has been appointed as Leicester manager.
Oh right,
literally just now.
Yeah, I can see it's breaking now on Wednesday evening.
Yes. Okay, so the next fixture is Watford versus Stoke at Vicarage Road. Now, Watford, what a start to the season! Excellent. They have dipped in form a bit, but I can only see them gaining momentum after their loss in the last fixture. But they're going to be up for it. And yeah, Stoke, awful start to the season. Mark Hughes under a lot of pressure, like Slaven Bilic and all the other managers who have been sacked. I can only see Watford winning this, and it's at home. It's at Vicarage Road, absolute fortress, 2-0.
Okay, fair enough. As you say, Watford, brilliant start to the season. Superb last week. They're very unlucky against Chelsea.
Yeah.
They could have gone 3-1, 4-1 up at one stage. They missed those chances, unfortunately. Yeah. And the market champions, Chelsea are the champions, and they somehow managed to gain that victory. Yeah. This week, of course, they're up against Stoke, as we say in this fixture. Stoke, I really thought they would have beaten Bournemouth last week, but they didn't. They got done at home. This week, Stoke are teetering on the edge of the relegation zone. They may even slip into the relegation zone this weekend. I can only see a victory for Watford with the way they're playing at the moment. They're full of running. They're full of confidence, and I can only see a victory for Watford. As I say, 3-1.
Okay, so the next match is West Brom versus Man City. Now, Man City win. That's all we can say. They've only drawn once. They've won eight of their last 9 matches out the whole season. They're just on fire at the moment. Aguero's come back. You've got Sterling scoring everything. You've got Sane, who some people think is faster than a T-Rex. You've got Gabriel Jesus. You've just got
how would they do that? How would they actually race that? Would it be
I don't know.
Computer simulation, or
I don't know. They said computer simulation.
Right. Okay.
West Brom, they're a real defensive side, and they've sat 13th in the table. They tend to get a lot of draws. It's like the theatre of draws there, like Man United last season. But I can only see Man City winning this one. They're going to absolutely tear up the West Brom defence. It's going to be 4-0 to Man City.
4-0, right, okay.
4-0.
I think Manchester City are going to win, but I think they're only going to win 2-0. Reason is West Brom, I think they're just going to try and park the bus, just contain Man City. Man City last night only drew, they came away with a victory in the end on penalties. Okay, Man City didn't play their strongest lineup, but they did bring the substitutions like the likes of Walker came on, De Bruyne, I think Mane came on as well.
It goes to show their squad depth, really.
Yeah, so
it goes to show that if they get plagued by injuries, then they'll be all right.
They'll be okay, but they didn't turn Wolves over last night. However, I can see them just winning this one 2-0. West Brom, not the best. I'm surprised. Really, I thought West Brom would gain a few more victories than they have this season, but they're just narrowly losing each week at the moment. Okay, moving on to the next fixture, we've got Bournemouth against Chelsea down on the south coast. Bournemouth at home, and I can actually see Bournemouth scoring in this one. I am going to go for a narrow Chelsea victory. I just think they're going to do what they did last week against Watford. Maybe it'll go to 1-1, but I think they'll pounce at the end, and their quality in the end will show through. And I've gone for a 2-1 victory to Chelsea.
Now, Bournemouth have had quite a bit of questionable form in the last couple of games. They've won 2 of their last 5 matches and they've drawn once, but it's really hard to say what Bournemouth are going to do. It's at home at the Vitality. Chelsea, they did lose those 2 games on the trot, but they did gain that victory last time around against Watford. I can only see Chelsea winning it, and it's going to be 2-0 to Chelsea. Okay, so the next fixture is another South Coast derby on Sunday at 1 o'clock between Brighton and Southampton. Now, this is another really tricky fixture. Brighton, they've had great form recently. They have been losing a couple of fixtures, but they sit around the same position in the table. It's just really tough. Is Murphy going to score those 2 goals like he did last time? Is Gabbiadini going to score? And Gross, phenomenal player.
Good player.
Brighton have a solid defence. It's such a hard fixture to predict, this one. Anything can happen, but I reckon Brighton are just going to slip away with it. Maybe at the end of the match there will be quite a few goals in this game, I reckon. It'll be 2-1 Brighton. Gross assist as always. Maybe a Murphy goal. Gabbiadini goal, Southampton.
Okay.
That's what I predict.
2-1 then.
Yeah, depending on if Pellegrino selects his team correctly, like people have been saying.
Okay, well, as you say, this is a very hard fixture to predict. Brighton, excellent victory away at West Ham last week. Southampton, they had a good victory as well at home against West Brom, even though West Brom they're a little bit goal shy this season. Tough fixture. I think it's going to end in stalemate, 1-1 for me.
Okay, so the next match is Claude Puel's Leicester, who has just been appointed like 5 minutes ago, against a managerless Everton. Now, both teams' dreadful start to the season. Everton are actually in the relegation zone, surprisingly. Now, both teams are absolutely struggling. I can only see this becoming a stalemate, really. It's going to be 0-0.
0-0.
No goals.
Scoring. No.
Nobody's scoring. It's just going to... I don't think either team will be able to get the ground running. I just think it'll be 0-0.
I think there will be goals in this because they're defensive. Defensively, both teams are a little bit suspect at the moment.
Yeah.
Leicester, new manager, they're going to be busting in their gut to win this match, and I think Leicester will come out victorious in the end. Yeah. I really like Okazaki as a striker up there with Vardy. Vardy does lots of running, of course, never stop. Okazaki as well is great foil for him. I can actually see Leicester beating Everton 2-1. Everton, don't know how they're going to perform. Koeman's just left, so you never know with them. They could pull it out of the bag, but I don't think they will. 6s and 7s this season, they just don't look like a team at all. With the amount of players that have come into the side or the club this year, you would have thought it would have taken a little while to settle down. Maybe Koeman was sacked a little bit too early. Maybe
I think
he wasn't.
The Everton board were wrong about sacking him, really.
Yeah,
in my opinion, but
I think it's going to continue. I think Leicester are going to pull this one out of the bag. So 2-1 to Leicester. The final match of the weekend is on Monday evening, and that's Burnley versus Newcastle. Another tough one. Another tough one to predict this one. Newcastle got a fairly decent defence. Burnley, we know that they've been strong away, not so much at home, whereas last season they were strong at home and terrible away. Defensively sound, both teams. There's not going to be that many goals. Wood may pop up with one now and again. Newcastle, you don't know who's going to be up front. Gale's not really getting a look in.
He isn't at all.
Mitrovic, I don't think he's fancied there at the moment, so I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Well, I've gone for a draw as well. I reckon it's going to be a really tough game, except, and like you said, I reckon there will be goals in this game.
Yeah?
Both teams are going to be fighting for the victory all the way through, and I reckon it's going to be 2-2. 7th versus 8th, what a match on Monday.
Yeah, whoever wins this one, that it's really going to push them and cement them in that sort of top 10 of the table. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That's the end of our predictions for week 10 of the Premier League season. And as always, I'm going to leave a template of these fixtures in the description below. So all you need to do, copy and paste them into the comments, predict your results, and like DLM75 and Nathan Evans this week, you may have a shout out next week. But for now, we'll bid you farewell, enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you in the next video.
Cheers, guys.